How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading when the price is going up or down. Coinbase to delist Binance USD stablecoin amid regulatory scrutiny. Cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase warned customers Monday that the company will suspend trading for Binance USD in less than a month, 2 weeks after Paxos Trust disclosed they'll stop minting the Binance-branded stablecoin, citing regulatory pressure. This will happen on March 13th. Coinbase said when they were reviewing their BUSD, they determined that it no longer met their listing standards and will be suspended. Coinbase's decision to suspend trading for BUSD is likely an attempt to avoid scrutiny from regulators that might claim the exchange facilitated the sale of unregulated securities. Exchanges took similar measures like this in 2020 after the SEC accused Ripple of raising $1.3 billion in unregistered security through the sale of the XRP token. Numerous exchanges, including Coinbase, suspended XRP, and this lawsuit is still ongoing. However, that lawsuit should wrap up sometime in the next few months, hopefully. Banning crypto should not be taken off the table, says the IMF. Banning crypto shouldn't be completely ruled out if they begin to pose higher risks to financial stability, according to the IMF Managing Director Priscilla Georgievna. We are very much in favor of regulating the world of digital money, said Georgievna in an interview with Bloomberg, adding that this is a top priority for the Financial Stability Board, the IMF, and the Bank for Internal Settlements. However, if the regulation is slow to come and crypto assets become a higher risk for consumers and potentially for financial stability, the option of banning cryptocurrency should not be taken off the table, citing countries like India that explored such possibilities in the past. If there's greater predictability and consumer protection in place, such measures will not be needed, but we are not yet in this world, added the IMF chief. IMF's first objective is to differentiate between central bank digital currencies that are backed by the state and publicly issued crypto assets and stablecoins. According to her, state-backed stablecoins have reliability and reasonably good space for the economy, whereas not-backed crypto assets are speculative, high-risk investment, and not money. During the recent G20 meeting in India, the organization's finance ministers and central bank governors released a paper that recommended the creation of global regulation standards for the industry, including stablecoins. Citing the document, she said that crypto assets cannot be legal tendered because they don't have the definition of money. Well, what is the definition of money? That is a banknote or a coin. So, because it's not a banknote or a coin, she says that crypto cannot be legal tendered because the banks don't have their hands all over it. If you see their main issue, first objective, is to differentiate between CBDCs and everything else. So they're okay with CBDCs, but nothing else. Solana still doesn't know what happened. No shocker there. 2 days after major outage, the Solana Foundation says it's still investigating why the Solana network went down for almost 20 hours following a network upgrade. The cause of this is still unknown under the active investigation, the Foundation wrote in a blog post published Sunday. On Monday, there are still no updates to the information that's already been shared. It launched in 2020 as a faster, cheaper alternative to ETH. Since then, it's become home to the second largest NFT market in the industry. It's also home to a small yet growing DeFi ecosystem with tools that enable non-custodial trading, lending, and borrowing, all done on-chain without a third party. So, Solana does have some really good tech, don't get me wrong when I slam it, but I slam it because they're always off. The company has been building Phoenix, a decentralized limit order book on Solana that has previously said it was attracted to building on the network because of its high throughput and low transaction fees. This is why everyone's interested in Solana, but Good throughput and low fees don't matter if your chain's always off. And the rest of this article is just slamming Solana. Robinhood faces SEC investigation over crypto businesses. Robinhood Markets, the firm behind the popular trading app, said today that it was subpoenaed by the SEC in December. The company disclosed the investigation in its most recent 10-K filing with the SEC. In it, the company lists among the various disclosures of potential risks to its business a subpoena from the SEC regarding Robinhood-supported cryptocurrencies, custody of cryptocurrencies, and platform operations. Robinhood currently lists 18 cryptocurrencies on its trading platform, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin. Investors can buy as little as $1 to get started with digital assets. This is why Robinhood is really important, because it allows people that have no trading experience to throw $1 in and buy whatever they want for just $1. It doesn't require some of these other apps that are out there that were mainstream besides like these crypto platforms. They require you to have a little bit more to buy. Like you'd have to buy a whole Bitcoin on most exchanges, where more crypto exchanges you're used to buying fractionals. A subpoena requires a person to appear before a court to testify or produce documentation when an investigation is active. Robinhood said it received a similar subpoena request from the California Attorney General's office regarding its trading platform, regarding its custody of customer assets, customer disclosures, and coin listings. It added that it is cooperating with the California's investigation. There's not too much more here. Onto the charts. So over on the daily, we've got a little bit. We have some patterns on lower time frames, so we'll get into those on top of what we normally go into because they're on the real low time frames. Our cup and handle halfway broke out, and we'll get into that. But over on the daily, money flow is somewhat flat. Our VWAP looks like it might curl away from crossing. Remember that everyone's waiting to see what happens Wednesday. Wednesday, there's rumor we could go up a half a point, where everyone was expecting us to only go up a quarter of a point. If we go up a half a point, that might make the markets drop a little bit more, where if we go up the quarter point, you might see a big rally because people will be like, oh good, we're not going to see quite as hard of monetary tightening as we were thinking. Our stochastic is trying to curl up, however it's kind of just going flat. RSI is still somewhat heading down, so not looking the strongest, and our momentum wave is bearish, however it's kind of just flat along here, so we're just kind of going sideways. Over on the 4 hour, we have a momentum wave that's rounding, however we are trying to print a green dot, so kind of indecisive. We lost momentum, but we could start to pick it up. Our money flow tried to break, however it looks like it's just flip-flopping and can't decide which way it wants to go. Our VWAP looks like it's slightly curling. Oh, it's actually peaked very slightly. So our medium term just barely broke. Our long term might break. Don't really know what we want to do here on the 4 hour either. So we've seen a lot of indecision ahead of this meeting. Over on the 2 hour, you see we had a couple of divergences. It could possibly form a shoulder, a head, and another shoulder here, which would be inside a symmetrical triangle, and the symmetrical triangle is a bull pendant because we are coming up. So this triangle could bring us to around 24K, to where the cup and handle was supposed to bring us. The cup and handle, we kind of came up almost to where we should have maintained, and then we rejected holding above this low volume profile here. So we're going to delete this cup and handle because it's no longer in play. This head and shoulders could possibly take us to about 23.7. I'd be just at that point, that lower volume profile. So we want to see that maintain and then continue forward. We do have a green dot possibly printing on the 2 hours momentum wave. Our money flow is generally coming up, so that's a positive sign. Stochastic's pointing upwards. Our RSI came down after we had these divergences placed, so we could see a little bit of a bounce from here. We're coming into the neutral zone on our stochastic, so if we were able to cross over that successfully, that would be a bullish sign and we could continue forward. However, we could possibly bounce for a couple more hours here as we make the other shoulder. You might get like 4 or 5 hours down, 4 or 5 hours up or something. So it could possibly be until the morning where we see if this will play out or not. Our RSI is generally coming down and curling, pointing downwards. Stochastic's rounding off on the 1 hour. Our money flow is bullish. Our VWAP is bullish, however it looks like both want to come down. Our momentum wave is heading upwards, so the 1 hour is looking alright, but like I said, we could see some sort of cool off as we bounce around inside this pattern before this meeting. Maybe we break out tomorrow, or we could possibly stay trapped in here a little bit longer. If we look over at graph, we are still in this bull flag that we had, or bear flag, sorry. My flow is still coming up. RSI is heading down though, and our stochastic's heading up. However, it looks like it might round off here, which if that does happen, that would be a bearish sign. Our VWAP is kind of just flat against this neutral zone, does not want to break over. Our momentum wave is coming down, so our VWAP and our momentum don't look too great right now. Over on the 4 hour, we did have that reversal that kind of brought us down a little bit. Our money flow is in the bearish zone. Our VWAP's in the bearish zone, so in the medium term, we're in the bearish zones. Momentum wave is coming down. We had a red dot 2 candles ago, so that could play out and bring us lower. Maybe we bounce off of this bottom of the flag. Our RSI is kind of just flat, but our stochastic is starting to lose strength, so the RSI could start to bend as we lose some strength here. Over on the 2 hour, we have a red X that could drag us down. However, like here, red X's don't always have to play out. RSI is coming down, stochastic's pretty beat down. On the 2 hour, we're pretty oversold, so the RSI doesn't really have any strength on the 2 hour. If that carries over to the 4 hour, that 4 hour and daily could roll over. Our money flow is starting to come out on the 2 hour, which is a bearish sign. Our VWAP rather, is starting to curl off and could possibly come under, kind of like how that daily is. Our momentum wave's heading down, so we're not looking the greatest on the 2 hour for here. So we might get a bit of a bounce, and then you'd want to see if that holds. If not, we may see this pattern play out. For XRP, over on the daily, we are still kind of in this range, making a little mini bear flag here that could drag us lower. Just rough it out real quick. Sloppy as hell. But that bear flag could bring us somewhat closer to the rest of this breakout, and then that'd pretty much finish off the shoulder almost. And then if we don't get that bullish momentum, then the shoulder could finish off and we could see a breakdown. So hopefully we do see a bit of a bounce on Bitcoin, as I wouldn't want to see this breakdown happen. If you're not familiar with where that could take us, I believe it was around 13 cents. As that's the neck from the head to the neckline, and then you apply that to the breakout point. Our momentum wave is setting up a bullish divergence, even though we're kind of just ranging around. Or, not really, never mind. Right. 4 hour, we kind of broke out a little bit, dipped down, came back here in this range. We do have a bullish divergence on the 4 hour though. Our money flow is somewhat coming out. RSI is pointing downwards. Stochastic's about to make a bearish cross and head down. So we are getting conflicting signals here, as we have a bullish divergence, but our money flow is coming out. Our medium term is coming down, our RSI is losing our strength. So we may not see this divergence play out. Over on the 2 hour, you can see money flows coming out a little more aggressively. We have like a double top on our VWAP here, and it's heading down. Momentum wave is starting to head down too, so not the best signs. RSI is pointing down pretty strongly, and our stochastic has that bearish cross and is about to start to head down. We did get this reversal arrow after pumping up, and then we started to kind of taper back down. So we could break this range and start to head back down, at which point I'd be a little more concerned like I previously said. Over on the daily on algo, we've gotten beaten down from this red X pretty badly. Our money flow is somewhat starting to come out. Stochastic's making a bullish cross. RSI is kind of flat. Our VWAP's kind of flat, a little more bearish than Bitcoin. Our momentum wave is heading downwards, but it looks like we could try to curl if these other indicators start to pick up. Over on the 4 hour, we're getting a green dot. Our money flow and our VWAP are like Bitcoin. We really don't know what we want to do. VWAP just keeps going up, down, up, down. Our money flow up, down, VWAP up, down, up, down. So we're just all over the place. We had a red X here that didn't really do much, but it could still has time where it could play out. They don't have to play out right away. They don't have to play out at all. Stochastic's setting up a bearish divergence as we're getting lower highs, so that's not the best sign. Over on the 2 hour, you can see we have more bearish divergences here, but they haven't really played out. We're getting a green dot on our momentum wave, so that suggests that if that confirms, we could head up. But our money flow is just tried to come up and then it just tapered back down. So money flow is not looking the strongest, but our VWAP's trying to cross back up. Stochastic's trying to make a bullish cross, and our RSI is generally heading up. So we're getting a little bit of mixed signals all over the place on all of our coins, mainly because no one knows what's going to happen in the next Fed meeting. So we'll have to look ahead for the next Fed meeting. I'd suggest not taking any trades if you're not comfortable with this range right now. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.